I'm Kathy Woodard. I am with Clemson University Public Service and Agriculture. I am here at the South Carolina Water Resources Conference in Columbia, South Carolina, and I have with me Dr. Jeff Allen. He is the Executive Director of the South Carolina Water Resources Center, and he's also the Chairman of the South Carolina Water Resources Conference. Jeff, you were explaining to me earlier that you've been with this conference since its very beginning, and when did it begin?
Yes, I have. It began in 2008. After a couple years of planning and different groups saying, you know, we don't have a conference that represents the water research community of South Carolina. We had one back in the 1980s and 1990s, but then it just kind of broke apart and there hadn't been anything. And so there was a large group of us that thought, you know, we all need to get together. We all need to share information. We all have good information to share with one another. And so that's how the conference kind of restarted in 2008. We hold it every other year, every even year. So this year, 2018, is our 6th conference over the last 10 years. Seems kind of hard to believe that it's gone by so quickly.
Tell me a little bit about how you've seen this conference change as it's grown. Has it grown in size?
It has grown a little bit in size from the first one in 2008. The first one we held in Charleston, and it was a very good conference. We decided after that to move the conference to Columbia, in part because so many of our state agencies are located in Columbia. It's much easier for them to just kind of pop over from their office to get over here to the convention center. And number 2, we made a conscious decision that we wanted to try to include state politicians, legislators in our conference. We knew that that would be difficult if we were meeting outside of Columbia because their schedules are so busy. And so that was part of what brought us to Columbia all these years. And we've grown to have about 300 or so participants in each of these conferences, and this year we're well over 300 attendees.
What I've noticed is the diversity that you have here. I think you have people from nonprofit organizations, you have state government individuals here, you have, I think we have a school here, I've heard.
We do. We have a high school group here. It's a magnet program that focuses on sciences, and they have recently been working on water sciences, and they contacted us about coming to this conference and learning a little bit more about that, and we thought that would be a pretty neat idea to engage these younger people in the water resource community. We do have quite a diverse group that attends these conferences. Originally, our intent was for this to be more of an academically oriented conference for the universities across the state, and it is that. It does draw from the different universities across South Carolina, but we have over the years brought in many different groups from state agencies, not-for-profit groups, environmental consulting firms, and that's a good thing. That is a real good thing because the whole purpose of this conference is to bring the water community together.
Well, I noticed that you are on the front lines of what we're dealing with related to water resource management, and you try to bring the best of all information that we need to solve problems in the state through this conference. So what would you say, in your opinion, would be the most pressing needs that we have?
I think the pressing needs have been in water planning for South Carolina. We're a state that's blessed with abundant water resources. So that just naturally makes folks not as concerned about that resource. But we have, in recent years, and actually the last decade or so, we've had some pretty severe weather patterns in place, with going from extreme drought to extreme flooding, and doing that rather quickly, and not taking a whole decade for that to happen. Sometimes it happens in a year. And again, with conversation with all the water groups in the state, that has been a primary concern, that we work hard to do a better job of water planning in the state. And that's just one area of water resources research that we need to continue to work on. There are many different aspects of dealing with water quality issues. There are many different aspects of stormwater issues. that we need to work on. There's many different aspects of using technology to understand our water resources, and those are getting worked on, and those are also papers that are presented at this conference, so people are learning about that and sharing with one another.
Now, I do know that your particular center has been involved with the state water planning effort. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. And again, it's a multi-year effort. It's been ongoing. We've been working with these folks for a number of years, but we were specifically asked by our state agencies, the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources and South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Back around 2013, there was a lot of talk about getting some funding to do some more rigorous state water planning, and they specifically came to Clemson to ask for our involvement in that water planning process. And we were able to jump right in and help them organize stakeholder meetings and gather data and other information that's very pertinent and necessary to the water planning process.
So what's the next step for you there at the center as far as water planning and what you're doing to assist the state and state agencies?
So the next big step in the water planning process is to take it to what we call the water basins or the watersheds, and have groups in each of the 8 major watersheds of the state put together plans specific to that river basin or that watershed. So we will be, again, helping the state agencies put that process in place. It's a big process. It's complicated. It involves a lot of steps. We're trying to do it as quickly as we can, but we also want to do it the right way. So we know that's going to be probably a multi-year process of getting those basin plans and those basin planning groups set up and going. That will eventually feed into the ultimate state water plan, which again, we hope we can do that within a couple of years. But again, our water center will be involved in many more water resource issues than just the water planning. That's a big one, and we will stay involved in that and stay focused with that. But there are a lot of other water research efforts that we will be involved in. In the agricultural community, we're doing work with the irrigation and water use in the agriculture community. That, again, there's a lot to be done there, and we'll be very involved in that in the future as well.
Right. Well, thank you again for your time today, and thank you for the work that your committee has done to put this conference together here, and we'll look forward to another one in 2 years.
Absolutely. Yes, 2020. Looking forward to it.